we're bringing on the latest winner on the PGA Tour. He's number one on the FedEx standings, as Wes pointed out. And he's a Georgia Tech man, and he loves barbecue. What else is there to know at 7:35 in the morning? Stewart Cink joins us. Stewart, how are you?
I'm doing great, fellas. How are you guys doing?
We're great is right. But, man, congratulations, man. Man, again, no disrespect, 47 years of age, 11 years since winning the Open Championship. Man, it can't get any better than that. Got your son on the bag. You can't script a better case scenario.
No, you really can't. I don't know one thing I would change about it. It was a really amazing experience and like a dream, really. The weekend was just, I almost needed to be pinched to be woken up. It was pretty incredible.
All right, so there's got to be a story about how Reagan ended up on the bag, right? I mean, was this the plan all along to start the year with Reagan on the loop?
Not really. I mean, Kip Henley's my regular caddy, and he and I work well together. But a couple weeks ago, Reagan, he's kind of in the middle of transitioning in between jobs. He works for Delta Airlines, and so he had a little bit of wiggle room in his schedule where he could take some time off, and he just came to me and said, "Dad, I just wanted to let you know I want to caddy for you again sometime really soon." And so I had the Safeway Open coming up, and I just said, "Well, hey, let's just do Safeway," and it worked out for him. And it's a great place to visit, Napa. I've really enjoyed being there over the years, and my wife was already planning to go, so we just made it a little family affair, and we planned it, and it wasn't anything that was like competitively, organized. It just was like kind of a fun family weekend.
Yeah, that's a pretty good family weekend, right? You just make a few dollars on the side and chill out with the family up there in beautiful Napa. So, you've had a great career. At what point in time in the last couple months did you sense, hey, you know what? I got another one of these in me, man. I'm starting to find it, because you know how golf is. It's so mental. And you guys on tour, as soon as you have a week that you start making putts, watch out. Crazy stuff can happen. But when did it dawn on you that, hey, guess what? I still can do this?
Well, that's the thing. It's just never not been there for me. I just always knew, I always believed that I had what it took. And, golf is a big mix up of all the mental and physical parts. And I've always had the physical parts of the game. I've got plenty of power, and I've got all the necessary ingredients to bake the pie. But, as you age in your 40s, it just the mental edge and the confidence and the intensity, it's harder to find. It's harder to stay in that place. And I just felt that was a little bit of a missing piece. And at times I would put it together, but putting 4 rounds together in a row was not there. And so, but I always believed that I had what it took, should I get there. And just a lot of things came together. Reagan kept me really calm, and I love playing golf with Reagan. He's a good player. He's a scratch player, so he understands the game at a super high level too. And it was just great to have him alongside to kind of keep me loose and also focused. And he provided lots of the sort of the backdrop of information that we needed to operate when I was, when I started to basically puke on myself at the end.
All right, so Reagan's on the loop. Your wife Lisa's walking the golf course, I'm going to guess. She's out there, going along like she has for goodness knows how many years, right, Stewart? And all of a sudden, you're gonna win this thing. I mean, I can only imagine, knowing you a little bit, and we've been friends a long time, the cavalcade of emotions that might be rolling through you as this is kind of coming to a close, because this is kind of like storybook stuff.
A little bit, and the one emotion that kept coming back to me, especially the second 9 holes, once I knew I was going to be right there to the very end, was I just had this really strong sense of gratitude just for being in that position. Mm-hmm. Without fans out there, I could always spot Lisa. She was always easily, within my vision. So normally that's not the case when you have a big gallery. You can't always find who you're looking for out there. So I could always find her, and she's just been amazing, these last several years as she's battled through her struggles with cancer since 2016, and I could always find her, and I had this sense of gratitude that just kept coming back, and it just in between shots, I just was feeling like, wow, this is really amazing. I got Reagan here. I'm playing well. I feel confident. All the Reagan, like he mentioned last week, he said the tangibles in my game are there. He said, Dad, your tangibles. I've never heard it put like that, but it's a good way to put it. And what he meant by that was you're hitting your shots well. Your tempo is good. You've got a good process. You have a good system for when things get out of whack. How to kind of get back. We're reading the greens well. All the tangibles were doing great. And he said, Dad, just take care of the intangibles. And what he meant by that was maintain your emotions, keep it together. Your poise and hang in there. And the gratitude was a huge intangible that came along and stayed with me. And I even mentioned it after the 14th hole. I walked over to Lisa and just said, I'm really grateful right now. And she said, me too. And she had a little, I think it was a tear in her eye. It could have been allergies because of the smoke, but we were just, I think we were all feeling the same way. And, 47 years old. And we always knew that I had what it took to win on the PGA Tour, even in my 40s. And I've seen it done. I mean, I saw Phil win at 50. I saw Furyk win his first Champions Event last couple of weeks. But it can be done. And that's one of the great things about golf.
Well, that's such a great family story, too. And, there's nothing better than family first, especially when you have everything working your way, which is just, again, it makes the story even better. Stewart, our next guest at the top of the hour is a guy by the name of Tom Luginbill, who attempted to play quarterback at Georgia Tech for at least a year. He was bragging last night that Taco Bell is coming out with a new wine, which almost made me throw up. So you're out there in Napa. You win the trophy. You got a nice piece of change on the side. You're holding that trophy. I'm just going to ask, what was the most expensive bottle of wine that you had in Napa last week?
I can look at all my receipts and tell you that because we visited some wineries, and it was almost made me want to throw up looking at some of the prices that we paid for some of the orders. But,
hey, by the way,
I'm hoping that when the wine comes in, we ordered a few. We went to a new winery that we've never been to called Paul Maz. I always want to get the name wrong. Paul Maz, which was really cool. And all the wineries they're doing their tastings outside because of COVID, but still great experiences. And we had a good time showing Reagan around for the first time out there.
All right, I just want to follow up on the wine thing, because I know I'm going to rag Luginbill coming up here at the top of the hour. Because anybody that wants to go to Taco Bell for wine really needs to adjust themselves, but that's a whole separate issue. You and I are both barbecue connoisseurs. What would you suggest from a wine perspective? And again, that's a strange combo. Oh, wow. Wine and barbecue, where would you go with that?
I'd probably go back to my roots and go country quencher with barbecue. It's probably the most fitting. I think of if you stack up all the culinary delights you can have around the world, especially coming from a place like Napa last week, I think barbecue is kind of like the country quencher of the food pyramid. And
love it.
It doesn't have to be very sophisticated to be good, though. We know that, right?
That's exactly right. You are spot on with that. You are speaking my language.
I told Pac during the break, you meet all the requirements for being on this show. I hate that you had to go win an event for us to try and track you down to get on the show, because not only are you an alum of an ACC school, your wife's an alum, and now you got two kids that are alums from ACC school, Stewart. I mean, you've run the gamut of this deal, because Reagan went to Georgia Tech, Connor went to Clemson, right?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, both ACC graduates now.
Out-of-state tuition, Pac.
Also, both my kids are engaged. They both got engaged recently the last 6 weeks or so. So we're
awesome.
We're super excited right now. We got 2 weddings coming up in the next year, and we just couldn't be more happy right now.
And so that 1.1 goes pretty quick, doesn't it? After the winery tours and a couple weddings coming up, you're going to be playing on that Champions Tour till you're 75 years old, paying all this stuff off, Stewart.
That's all right. I was already planning to do that anyway.
It beats working, right?
You might make $1 million playing golf, but you spend about 1.2 doing it.
That's exactly. You know what? That's all good. But you have lived an incredible career, and again, it's such a great family story from the weekend. And I will tell you, I was a humongous Tom Watson fan growing up. And you broke my heart at Turnberry, my man. I know you're like, hey, I know you've heard that story a trillion times, but man, what an incredible run that was too. And I mean, truly unbelievable what you've experienced.
Yeah, that was quite a day, and that's 11 years ago. It's hard to believe that for me, but it doesn't feel that long ago at all. All those memories are so fresh, and images in my mind are so sharp from that day compared to other things that happened back in that same year. But yeah, that was I know that broke a lot of people's hearts, and I don't mean anything personal by that, but it did break my heart that day. It was nothing against Tom Watson at all, but it was a really special day, and but I recognized when that was going on how significant the day was with Tom and his age and the historic nature that not just for golf but really for all sports. Yeah. And but that actually turned out to be one of the things that helped me, I think, prevail that day, is that I had a really clear picture of what was happening, and I was able to take it all in and sort of be a part of the spectating and the competing at the same time, which kind of helped me sort of divide my focus and keep my energy up.
Now, we need to go break some bread, man. We need to get, hey, Wes, I need to get down there. You boys down there in Georgia, and we need to go eat some barbecue, man. That just sounds like a good time.
To have you guys over
No. We don't want to.
5 or 6 hours heads up, and we can have a real feast.
I like it. That sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, what barbecue sauce worked best in the claret jug a few years ago?
Well, we make our own sauces, and we use some commercially bought sauces too. But when I say me and my cooking partners, we have Alabama roots, so we kind of stick along towards the Memphis lines of sauces. So we're not too sweet like Kansas City, but not too vinegary like you people up there in North Carolina. We kind of we stick a little bit more towards the tomatoey side. But one thing about Alabama sauce that it's starting to become well known around the country, but very regional specific, is the Alabama white sauce, which is mayonnaise based. Right. That's from the counties that we grew up in, and that's kind of how we like our sauce.
Well, let me tell you something.
Nice. See, Pat?
God bless the pig, my man. You know what? You can't go wrong with the pig. That's all I know. It is as good as it gets. When it's done right, it's as good as it gets.
Yeah. When God made bacon, he knew what he was doing. We're
no
sure
question. Well, listen, congratulations. It's great having you on the show, and happy that the family's doing well. And but your story over the weekend was really inspiring in every sense of the word. And again, congrats on all your success.
I appreciate that very much. It was a lot of fun, and fun to be on the show with you guys too.